ultimate player now for the most part. I mean, a little bit of Smash 4, but really,
Yeah, Frozen was notoriously she made top 50 in Ultimate, wins over Tweak and other really good players, but has been kind of playing a lot of PMP Plus again recently, and has been very vocal about being excited to compete in this game again. So I can't wait to see what she brings to the table.
At one point, we can say that Frozen was definitely the #1 Mewtwo, right? I mean,
absolutely, for a long time, and then Fuzz actually came up very shortly after Frozen retired, so it wasn't even really a passing approach so much as like, one left and then the other one appeared. It's like the rule of two for the Sith, only it's one, but yeah, so maybe one day we'll see those two ditto, but for the time being, Frozen off to a good start, taking that first off the Ledgehog.
So 2 double jump canceled characters right here. This is going to be a little interesting.
Yeah, the way these two move around the stage is so fascinating because they both have double jumps. Ness can really turn himself around super quickly with that magnet, and we see Kumatora loves to do that. And then Mewtwo has both a float and a teleport. So these two are going to be all over the stage, despite being slow-ish characters on the ground. We are not going to see them on the ground very often.
Yeah. Oh,
great angle.
Just barely.
Yeah, hit the stage at a different angle than Frozen was ready for, and it meant that it took a little bit longer for her to reach Mewtwo and let that F smash end. Oh wow, she back-aired the PK Fire and then got by it. Yeah, and one of the things that is going to be tough here is Mewtwo's a pretty difficult character for a lot of characters, including Ness to combo, it seems like, because relatively floaty, Mewtwo does have a big frame, but it can also buffer float air dodge, or double jump air dodge, which is an extremely fast escape option. So,
and still has access to that Nair.
Yeah, and incredibly fast arrows, yeah. Nair and Fair are both within 5 frames. One is 4 and one is 5, I can never remember which. But they're both extremely fast. I think Fair is 4 and Nair is 5, yeah. But they're both extremely fast. They're also, they can also be combo starters, and they can, Fair can just straight up kill as a combo breaker, which is terrifying. But that down tilt up is going to do it. That is a very consistent kill confirm on 40s, so you see a lot of that on the rare times that Kumatora can catch Frozen near the ground. We haven't seen much of so far.
Okay, gets the punish on the PK Fire, doesn't get too much. It's definitely a lot of aerial dogfighting here.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, Frozen was trying to float into Kumatora's airspace and threaten with that back air. Great response from Kumatora to just go a little bit higher and then get all this damage off it.
As of right now, it's looking like the punish game is definitely in Kumatora's favor. I feel like she's just getting a little bit more consistent punish game. But somehow Frozen is she's really getting the kills here.
Yeah, Frozen, and that's a strength of Mewtwo too, is, you've got the amazing edge guard game, and you've got that up throw, which is one of the most consistent kill throws in the game. And you're just really not going to struggle with finding kills in this matchup, or almost any matchup with Mewtwo. So even though Frozen is maybe getting fewer hits per opening, getting Ness off stage and racking up damage is still really valuable, because it all leads towards that grab at the end of the stock. I would love to see at some point Frozen do side B, which is Confusion, and reflect those aerial PK Fires back. I've yet to see Kumatora really do anything to counter that, so that would be an interesting mix-up, but so far Frozen is still just moving around them and just kind of respecting Ness in the air.
Frozen, she's really going for those punishes on the PK Thunder too. Like, yeah. I don't think not once she's been afraid to go out there and try and challenge it.
No, and when you have a tail as big as Mewtwo, you might as well. There's not really any risk of what we saw with Switch, where he got quote-unquote reverse edge guarded, and he basically just died to PK Thunder 2. You don't really have to worry about that because Mewtwo is such a big disjoint on back air and up air that, oh wow.
Wow, alright. So Kumatora gets the first game off a clean dare up air, the classic. Get that meteor, and you can do whatever you want afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean we were talking about frozen the whole game, and Kumatora just kind of slowly brought that back, but really strong showing there.
She's good at that. She's been doing that she's been doing that she's been on our screen this entire time, and she's been doing that every time.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm still surprised by it. Player of this caliber with a punish game like hers, but nonetheless, still very impressive stuff. And Frozen is taking her to PS2, so we're just going to see those forward airs and up throws kill even earlier off the top, but at the same time, so will Ness up there. So there's a bit of a double-edged sword here. Frozen taking a gamble that playing more on stage and being able to get those early kills will be worth it.
It's definitely the middle 3 league.
Oh, yeah. Well, you see, that's the difference. The AFL is only allowed to play on the middle 3, and the NFL isn't allowed to play on the middle 3.
That's the fundamental there.
Yeah. We only get to start on Green Hill and Delfinos, and let me tell you, it sucks.
I believe you, man. I don't want to go to Delfinos ever. Please.
Yeah, same. Okay, so far, that's just legendary. I was gonna say Kumatora's been doing a really good job of weaving around that massive back air that Mewtwo can threaten with. So, for a character with Ness's recovery, she's doing a pretty impressive job of staying alive off stage.
I don't know if you know this or not, but that back air, basically where the tip of the tail, where it's all blue, that's pretty much all disjoint, right?
Yes, that's all disjoint. Okay. So, it's not the whole tail can hit Mewtwo, but it is much smaller of a hurtbox than it is in Melee, for example, where that is kind of cited as the main reason that Mewtwo is really bad in that game, is that you can't dash dance because they can hit your tail. But, yeah, pretty strong disjoint on a move that can be thrown out about 8 times a float. Frozen making great work of it now. Yeah, that's going to be the stop. Good.
Wow. Wasn't even at that high percent. That was just a pretty good angle. I guess she was trying to angle the PK Thunder, so she caught kind of rough DI there, huh?
Yeah, that's what I think. And Mewtwo back air does send at a pretty horizontal angle, which can be rough for a character like Ness. It's not necessarily going to kill you, but it can do that wall of pain thing, similar to Jigglypuff, where you just go so far that you can't come back. And even though Ness recovery is decent distance to it, it's still very susceptible to getting ledge hog. Let's see, I mean, this is one hit away from death for Frozen, but at the same time, you're kind of running out of combos that are going to work on Mewtwo at 130. I think pretty much the only one at this point is going to be down tilt up air. See there, that raw up air is finally going to do the trick. So, Kumatora is still back in this, but Frozen has a pretty solid lead for how slow these games have been so far. Not seeing any zero to doubts.
What are you doing with that Thunder? That's costing you.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is for Kumatora though, because Mewtwo is so scary off stage. It's kind of just picking your poison. But Frozen has a great lead right now on Kumatora's doing. Okay, tries to call her out with the up smash.
Really not good.
Yeah. And this is all, as far as Kumatora is concerned, this is all icing on the cake, because she is one hit away from death, and yeah, there
we go.
There were a couple situations where she probably should have gotten grabbed and then barely got out of it. So she got some extra damage on that stock, but now she does still need to she needs to take this one as quickly as she can if she wants to have a shot at taking this game too.
Throwing the PK Fire and trying to just clip, the big body on Mewtwo is definitely the biggest weakness here. And although the Mewtwo for a big body actually has a pretty good shield, still something that you can try and poke with the PK Fire, since it's actually a pretty good poke tool if you aim for the feet and things like that.
Yeah, totally. And same deal with down tilt. Down tilt is such a good shield poke. But so far, Frozen is just extending this lead, and Kumatora is, throwing things out, but yet to find a meaningful opening that leads into a kill.
Can't get in.
Yeah, how do you get in with Ness against that disjoint? What? I've never seen PK Thunder 2 send someone nowhere at 160.
Crouch
that
cancel?
was the strongest crouch cancel I've ever seen.
Amazing.
It must have been. I mean, I know that it does get weaker over time, but that was still crazy. And yeah, that's a 2-stock for Frozen.
That
Really
must be bad. That's gotta feel bad. You actually hit with the PK Thunder 2 at 100 and change, and you still don't even get them off stage barely.
Yeah, like you've been trying to kill them at 100 and 100 and change for it feels like a whole minute, and then you finally get like your strongest move, and it does nothing. That's frustrating. But Kumatora gonna bring it to Metal Cavern, where hopefully this higher platform is gonna help her get in. Maybe approach through this joint, but she needs to come back.
Now,
that was such a good option select, because if she up 4 tilt, she gets the edge guard. If not, she's gonna get that grab. No escape with Kumatora right now.
I'm a little confused with this pick. I really haven't gotten seen the light in a lot of Kumatora's picks until after the fact. But this one seems a little puzzling again, just because that platform. I mean, can't you get poked really easily from aerials, but from Mewtwo here?
Yeah, I'm also, I will admit, not super clear on this counter pick, just because, like you said, not only can Mewtwo threaten through the platform, so you can't really come in on Mewtwo from above, which is by itself a scary proposition because you've got up air and up tilt, which are massive disjoints. But also, now you have to approach under this platform while Mewtwo is bailing or tilting or up airing the forward smashing at you. And there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver between those hitboxes and come in with a meaningful approach.
Right.
So, I mean, and so far it's like, it has been quite difficult, I think, for Kumatora to find these openings. It's great when she has center stage, and I think that might be the idea here. But when Mewtwo has center stage, it's so hard.
What a great
also, really good up air there. Sends almost nowhere when you get that reverse up air, especially with that DI. So it just tacks down damage, moves them a little bit closer to the blast zone, and then you get that back air to seal it.
You finally get the presence of mind because you're about to get to a wall of pain or something like that to try and hold out and hopefully just not eat the back air again and attempt to recover. And then you get clipped with such a weak move that you don't go anywhere and you get set up.
Exactly, yeah. So now we see Frozen is set up shop in center stage, which is kind of what we were talking about, and that grab is going to do it. That grab has been such a difference maker for Frozen these last 2 games. Because Kumatora can hit all the hard combos, but if you can't get those kills, it doesn't matter, and that's what Frozen's been so good at so far.
Yeah, and I mean both these characters technically do have a kill throw, but it shows you how much better a kill throw off the top really makes a character, and also being able to get in. I mean, where's she gonna get the grab in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we haven't even seen Kumatora getting grabs, really. I think part of that might be that she's not going for it as much, but because down throw doesn't really combo on Mewtwo, so until you hit back throw percent, you're not getting a lot. But either way, I mean, Kumatora is just struggling to get openings that are kind of these random stray hits in neutral, which are, they're getting damage and they're kind of working, but it's not anywhere near the back air chains and the strong combos that we're seeing from Frozen right now. She's kind of getting outpaced in that regard. That won't be it, yeah. It's a hard teleport to hit.
Tries to clip the toes. There we go. Starting to see it.
Yeah, that was a really good call out on Frozen. Has been consistently trying to shield grab there, and eventually, it's a really good grab. I thought that was going to be an aerial and just had the presence of mind to land on the plat and go for the up throw. But yeah, Kumatora, that was adaptation, that was calling out. You've been shield grabbing here consistently, so hopefully we see more of that and Kumatora continues to keep this competitive. There's out, but not going to get anything for it. You get that forward tilt, but now you have to edge guard Mewtwo, and that is not an easy task for any character, let alone Ness, who's not exactly notorious for strong edge guards.
These wake-up situations is where Kumatora has been making her money.
Yeah, the wake-up situations and like the mid-air scraps have really been where she's getting these openings.
Can we get a kill? We need to get a kill soon, like
yeah, we
ASAP.
need a kill for Kumatora to stay in this. And she's already down a significant amount, and like we've been seeing, in this matchup, percent on Ness is really important because that up throw is always waiting. There's never going to be a time when Mewtwo is struggling to find kills the way we've seen so often in this tournament.
Yeah, there's like, okay, some characters like we've seen with Mewtwo, some characters can just start. All right, I've been racked up enough damage where I'm just not getting comboed anymore. But never an option when you're playing against Mewtwo. That up throw is always in play.
Yeah, that's the difference between having a throw that combos into a kill move, like for example Mario's down to a floater where it stops working at some point, versus this up throw which just straight up kills. There's no percent range, there's no BI option. If you get grabbed and you're past a certain percent, that's your stop. There's nothing you can do about it. But right now, Kumatora is doing a great job of dancing around these grabs.
There we go.
And that really is all the Trojan's been looking for this start.
There we go.
Advantage. Oh, and there's the original.
Oh.
There's that photo. So Frozen does go up 2-1, but that was a competitive game, especially at the end there. Kumatora started to bring it back. So lots of room here for adaptation going into game 4.
Where do you go? I mean, honestly, that stage looked like it was kind of sort of working out. I want to say maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the stage or just learning. I mean, like it's always a little both, but. Let's see.
Yeah, and this is, as they go, this is a relatively rare character, Mewtwo. The only other Mewtwo really on the East Coast is HMO4, who has been retired for quite some time now, and then Anthony has like a tertiary Mewtwo. Oh, that's good to know. So when I was talking about the confusion earlier, apparently it only deflects horizontally, not vertically. So Frozen did that, and it just sent it into the ground. But yeah, so I don't know how Kumatora, how much experience she has in this matchup, whereas Frozen has quite a lot from Stereo Kid back in the day. And they were both top players.
Man, I forgot about Stereo Kid.
He was so good.
East Coast has levels, man.
Yeah, I miss old school East Coast, like when it was Stereo, Gallo, Frozen, that crew. Yeah, we'll be talking about in videos, but that's for another time.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Some more of those. What is the series called?
I've been calling it PM Deep Dives, but we're getting into Supernova next, so should be fun. But in the meantime, this game has been extremely even. Kumatora's doing a great job, and I think I really like the stage pick. I think the moving flats have been historically considered pretty good for Ness because that down air just hits through them. Yep. And at the same time, they're not giving Frozen somewhere to hide underneath, really. So I think that's really strong. And obviously you've got the side blast zones, which are great for killing with back air and back throw. Insane DI that can release that back air in the blast zone. I
somehow manages to make it back. Wow.
Yeah, that was but is this... No, not quite going to do it. That is another benefit of Thought, is you've got a relatively high ceiling to survive those up throws.
Okay, pressing buttons again.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get away with these moving platforms and stuff. Not only, like you said, the dare can like poke through, but also the angles for the PK fires change because sometimes you have to tilt your shield where you didn't think you had to before. It's another wrinkle in it. And if you're talking about Mewtwo with those crazy rolls actually can get trapped really easy.
Oh, 100%, yeah. If you're trying to roll out a shield and then suddenly the platform came up and then you're rolling half the distance, that can really limit, because the animation is still the same time, but you're going less far, which means that you're just a sitting duck for Ness to grab.
Yeah.
So far, Frozen's doing a great job playing around these plats as they've been coming up.
Oh, nice pivot grab.
Yeah,
Raw pivot grab.
Doesn't really get anything more, and then teleport back out from Frozen.
Oh,
gets
that
the
was
edge.
on purpose.
Yep. Frozen's been looking really clean tech-wise, which I love to see, because I know that she's been kind of coming back to PM, but it's been quite a long time since she was competing regularly. It's weird that reversed that back out again. But yeah, I'm very happy to see that Frozen looks like she's in practice and really playing to her character's strengths in a way I'm excited to see. So that's awesome.
Oh, actually good call out on the up smash.
Yeah. Oh, this is scary. That's a down smash. Yep.
Are those?
Yeah, DI's out, which is good because you won't get disabled, which has very high horizontal knockback. But the yeah, not quite gonna do it. That's actually really good DI play there, I think. But Kumatora needs this stock now if she's not gonna drop this set and find herself the bottom placer in this pool.
Keep throwing those PK fires because that shield's looking like an M&M. If you're gonna get in, now's the time.
Yeah, that's how you gotta do it. But Frozen is just already there with that back air. Really clean stuff there from Frozen. So that's going to be a 3-1 victory for her, which is solidifying her placement in this pool.